So we start going over into some annual beds. So we got some cabbage. It's getting annihilated by some snails. Cauliflower. It's gonna be ready to go. Got little peppers. Fennel. Cucumber. Parsley. Can't taste it because you're on live. Too bad. These guys are really cool. I would encourage people to try to start growing these. I haven't really grown them, so I don't know and how well they'll do, but I'll take any advice I can on it. But basically, it's chayote squash that you can find at HEB. You let the squash just kind of sit on a windowsill, or even what I did is buy one of my planters that was already by a window. I just set it in the planter, and it basically grows out of the squash. Right there, it'll grow out the plant on its own kind of system. So the seed is deep down in there. You almost can't even kind of tell, and that'll make a little vine. So I'm going to try to grow some of these chayote squash this year. This is a small little tree over here. This is a lemon eucalyptus. It's not going to be small, but I'm going to have to trim it on back as it gets bigger. It's found a lot in mosquito repellents and stuff like that. So I can, that smell can really deter. A lot of lemony smells will really deter a lot of bugs and stuff like that. Confuse them in the garden. So that's a really good technique whenever they talk about companion planting, is also like kind of keeping pests away with fragrant plants. Real quickly, what can be kind of shown here is use cheap materials to build your beds. You might have to move them, but use wood, logs, stuff like that, as they'll hold moisture, and they're just better part of the kind of system there. You can also use rocks. You can use a number of different things. These are beams from whenever I had the foundation worked on under the house. So these are beams that were under my house. That's cedar on some of them, so some of those will last for quite a while. We'll go over to this next kind of guild that's here by the porch. So that's going to be this pineapple guava again. We got Nasturiums. Nasturiums have an edible flower. That one's all messed up. So you can eat the flower, you can eat the leaf. It has a really strong kind of peppery taste. And it can be used in salads. The taste is almost maybe similar to like a horseradish. You can just see all this is just seeds that I grew out in here. So there's like little carrots. So again, you want the ground to be always covered with something. So it's either, if it's bare ground like this, start throwing out seeds if the season's right to start getting stuff planted, or come back in here and start trying to cover it up with some mulch. We want to really keep that moisture in here. Growing up over here is going to be a grapevine right there. We got a crimson cherry that is doing well, coming back. Whenever you buy them, you want to buy fruit trees usually in the winter, coming out of the winter whenever they're dormant, and you buy them and they're literally sometimes just sticks, and then once you plant them, they'll start budding out again. So don't be so scared of that, but you can tell it was just a stick just a little bit ago, about 3-4 weeks ago or so. So that's the best time to kind of be doing fruit trees. We're kind of coming out of that time to be planting fruit trees. It's going to start getting warmer. You want the roots to be setting in the soil. Another thing we want to keep in mind is, depending on where you're at in San Antonio, your chill zone is going to be different. So all the way over on the east side, it'll be 200 hours or so, 200 to 300. And then all the way to the west side, it'll be kind of mid-range there, and all the way up to the north side. Whenever we start getting into the hill country, it goes all the way up into 400 or 500 chill hours sometimes. Within those ranges, you know, look for the information that's for your area. San Antonio has 4 different climate zones, so we're even kind of just different sometimes from another part of town. We can still grow a lot. We're still a zone 8B to 9A now. It's switching over to a little bit warmer. So keep all those things in mind whenever you're kind of looking. Mint is a good ground cover. You can kind of put it there, but just beware that it will have a rhizome root system. It'll continue to just grow out everywhere, so it can take over. So sometimes putting it in containers will really work. You know, used containers from your last keg party. This one right here is a really awesome bush. The cherry tree is, oh yeah, let me see, it's right over here. I think I try to get mine somewhere. This one's a low chill hour, you know, so I try to stick to 200 or 300 on some of those. So this is lemongrass. Super productive. Just be wary wherever you plant it. I need to cut it back actually coming into the spring here so it can do new shoots, so it can lose all of this dead foliage. But you know, it's a grass, so it'll bunch out from here. You want to kind of trim it coming back into the spring here, but super productive and really good to use in things. You can tie it up and put it in a soup and then pull out that kind of knot later if you just want the flavor without the kind of woody material there. This one is oregano. Really easy to grow in this area. Perennial. You know, looking at perennial plants versus annuals, start switching over to finding more and more plants that are going to be around next year, so you're not chasing like what plant you're going to be planting at the right time of the season. You know, perennials will be a lot more long term, so picking things like this. So these are some more perennial herbs that are in our area. We got thyme over here. This right here is onion. This is a better perennial onion. As you can kind of see here, what this is a bunching onion. Actually, let's just take it out so you can see it. So what this one does is you plant this from the year before, or the little bulb, and it plants out these little baby onions all over the place. So it reproduces more than what you need there. So take some of this for the porch here. Okay, before some more herbs that are over here. We got curry plant. I believe this is a dwarf curry plant. I don't know what's going on with it. Tastes like curry. Didn't know curry was a plant like that. Elephant ears, more kind of flowers. And again, just random pots. Just kind of throw some seeds in there, see what you got going. We got some mustard greens growing out of there. Okay, we got, what's this, dill over here. Basil growing in. And some more parsley. More peppers, green onions. They work really well on the edge, you know. Mexican oregano is another good one to have. Again, with this little bean, I believe it's vetch. So don't quote me on that. Lantanas. This grew in on its own, but this is a good example of a useful plant. So it's got antimicrobial properties. I feel like I've used it on wounds to help with the healing process. Just right away. How's it going? I think. There's broccoli over here. There's we got some cucumbers coming up over here. We got a neighbor over here. How's it going?
I had this in where I used to